Welcome to Collectors of the Coast. I am Cash, and got some exciting stuff to do today. We are editing this little, bought this little Odyssey block collection, and wanted to go through it. I thought there was, kind of looked at some of the cards so far, and it looked pretty nice, and I thought you guys at home might like to see it. So, I'm not going to open these Odyssey packs today. They're just kind of there for show. I'm going to move them aside. Kind of hard to get pack value out of them, even on a pretty good set like the Odyssey block. So I'm going to pull these out. We'll kind of go through them bit by bit, a little chunk at a time, I guess. And let me see here. Little chunk at a time, and we'll have some fun. Maybe for some of you, a little trip down memory lane. I started not too long before Odyssey, and so I was probably really in my first sort of prime of playing when Odyssey came out. So cards like this card here from Judgment, Mirari's Wake, were absolutely huge for me. I love the card. I had a couple of them. I think I got one in a pack, and then I bought another back then. I think they're about the price they are now, actually, about $15. So I think they're still kind of around that. They've ebbed and flowed a little bit over the years just because of reprints and all that kind of stuff. But beautiful card. Nice and powerful. Whenever you tap a land for mana, you get basically 2 of that mana color, and then creatures you control also get +1/1. So really nice effect card, and real good stuff. So got a Shadow Mage Infiltrator in here as well. This card is not kind of seeing as much play as it once did, but back in the day it was super powerful. Called it the Finkel because I think it was designed. I think this was actually the original fan created card. So I believe this was put together. They had like an online vote, and the fans kind of created it. There was a few of them. There was this one. There was Forgotten Ancient. Whenever, I think it's like a green one. Whenever you cast a spell, you get a 1/1 counter. Whenever anyone on the board casts a spell, you get a 1/1 counter, and you're able to put them on your creatures at the beginning of your upkeep. Really nice card. And I believe what the hell is it called? The one that brings lands back from your graveyard, the artifact. That's also another one that came out through that process. So super fun. So Tomb Fire, nice to see that in here. Target player removes all cards with flashback from their graveyard from the game. So especially now where like flashback's a thing in some decks, becomes really good for 1. So really good sideboard card. Chainer's Edict. This was the creature kill at the time. This was probably the best creature kill card, especially when it was in standard. I mean, it was amazing. You got to do it twice, make people sacrifice a creature. Really good board control. A little bit easier to flood the board with creatures these days, so maybe not quite as powerful, but still a really nice card. And that late game, getting to bring it back with flashback, really nice. So pretty excited about that. We got a few Manantupico Monasteries. At one point, this card was pretty strong. I think it doesn't get that much play these days, but at Threshold, you can make it a 4/4 green and white creature with first strike for 2. So really nice card. Really still a nice playable in certain decks. We got a Piana Nomad Captain. Never really played her too much. Never found it super powerful, but still not bad. Kind of nice to see it. Mudhole. It was kind of... it was alright. Obviously, in certain decks, kills Ren and 7 a lot these days, but not so good. Morning Tide, remove all cards in all graveyards from the game. There's just other stuff now that I think does kind of the same thing more specifically. So kind of downs this a little bit, but still pretty good. Alright, so I used to play Fledging Dragon a lot back in the day. I used to have a control kind of blue-red deck, and I used to put this in it, and sure enough, it won me so many games in that style. And of course, there's just kind of better dragons now that are cheap, that kind of do more, and don't have the drawback of you need 7 cards in your graveyard. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time. Wormfang Behemoth. I never really kind of got some of these cards. Alright, Cephalid Vandals. So this card I think is a little underplayed actually. Pretty nice with the shred counters. Keeps putting cards in graveyards. And every turn you get to put more. So pretty good. Gets you to Threshold and after a few turns. So pretty nice. Alright, so I used to play this card actually quite a bit. It was never super powerful for me, but Nantico Cultivator. If you're trying to get land cards in your deck or anything where you can bring them back from the graveyard, was pretty nice. You can discard cards. It gets counters. and you get to draw other cards, and so you get to cycle through. Pretty nice. So I see he's got 5 of these in here, so it's pretty nice in the little pile of cards. So I don't like any real super huge ones, I don't think yet. I don't necessarily really was okay Angel back at the time. A little expensive now for what it does. So you get all kinds of... It's funny, you know, but you think like they printed this back in the day. It was a pretty solid creature. It wasn't like a home run creature, but you think about how much you get for 7 now compared to back then, back in Torment. So this card actually is, I think, a little undervalued. I think, you know what? Return 3 target cards in an opponent's graveyard to their hand. Return target creature from your graveyard to play. It's pretty nice, actually. I've seen it used really well. So Triss, again, like these cards, Triss, man, Nantuko Primus for 7 nowadays, you just get so much more. So he's pretty nice, but again, Death Wish, a nice wish card. Just he costs 3, so he's not the best wish, and you lose half your life. So he's just okay. All right, Possessed Centaur was never really an amazing one. It is good against green creatures specifically, but very expensive. We got a couple of those in there. We got, again, another card from Judgment. They had these, when it comes into play, you skip your next turn. Can you imagine playing this card just to get a 6/1 and it costs 7? You get an extra turn after the next one. So it's kind of like, just like wacky kind of stuff. So Alter Reality, change the color of target text of permanent person. I think it changes the color words. So Balthor the Stout. If barbarians are ever a thing, I'm sure this card will go up in price. Nantuko Blight-Cutter, Skull Scorch. I used to like to play this card. 2 red. Not really an ability red usually has, but the downside is you know, your opponent can refuse to discard the cards and just take 4 damage instead, which sometimes not bad, but still a fun card to own. Plagiarize. Where are they really playing this card? Until end of turn, if target player would draw a card, instead that player skips that draw and you draw a card. So pretty nice in certain decks, but kind of expensive, I think, today for what it does. Like you can get cards that the ones that are 3 where it's permanent. So all right, Nantuko Shade. So this was the bee's knees back in the day. This card was like $20, $25, $30, I think, when it was in standard. And that pumpable, I don't think we understood maybe mana and the value of mana as much back then. Still holds some pretty good value. Really cool, spooky art if you're kind of looking back at them. Got like the shade kind of behind that dude. Pretty cool card. Still pretty good for 2. You get a 2/1 pumpable for 2. Pretty good. Oh, we got another Shadow Mage Infiltrator. I did pull a couple of these there. So we got 4 of these. We got 4 of these Finkles. Really nice cards. All right, Holistic Wisdom. So some of these cards are just so unique that they're going to hold value because like so many of them haven't been reprinted still. So remove a card in your hand from the game. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand if it shares a type with the card that was removed this way. Again, very specific decks, but pretty nice card. I never played that card. I don't think I ever played it in my life. Persuasion, you control enchanted creature, just like way overcosted for what it was, but I think back at the time there was just kind of 1 or 2 cards that did that specifically, so it was pretty good. All right, Obstinate Familiar, if you would draw a card, you may skip that draw instead. Not sure when that's good. All right, Epicenter. So I have played this card in conjunction with, I didn't see any, in conjunction with Terraforce for years. Destroys all the lands on the board. You throw down a Terraforce, you throw down this card, there's no lands on the board, you now have like a 20/20 trample creature, and your opponent just can't do anything about it. It's like game over. So super fun card. Really nice to have one in my hand. Don't know how much, again, I don't know how much value it holds. Nantuko Mentor, again, another one. It's a little expensive again for probably what it does today, but you can give target creature plus XX where it's creature's power, so it's pretty nice. Another Tombfire, which we got before. Mystic Crusader, not bad for the protection from black and red. Also, when you get 7 cards in your graveyard, it gets even better, so kind of got some upside to it, so not a bad little card. Unifying Theory, again, never really played this. That costs 2 every time. It's kind of questionable, and the fact that your opponents can do it, it's kind of hard. So Okay, Hint of Insanity. Not a bad little discard card. Charmed Pendant. Never was a big fan of these pendants. Wayward Angel was kind of, even like back then, I mean, it got pretty great if you get to Threshold, but otherwise you're getting a 4/4 for 6, which is pretty terrible, especially these days. It was just okay back then even. So, all right, Nefarious Leech. If you would be dealt damage, remove that many cards in your graveyard from the game instead. If you can't, you lose the game. If you would gain life, draw that many cards instead. Pretty interesting. I gotta play this card actually. When it leaves play, you lose the game. So it just sounds like a fun card to try to break with and play in some decks. So we got a few Braids Cable Minion. This was worth quite a bit, and it was just reprinted, so they've kind of killed the value of it. But it is a nasty, nasty card. She is so creepy with that smile and that purple lipstick. So pretty crazy. Catalyst Stone, really good in flashback. Really nice card. I don't need to say much about it. Just improves your flashback costs. I've played it kind of on and off over the years. Seed Time. I actually got to put this in more decks. Everyone's plays blue in some decks, especially in Commander. Like, this should be just a crazy card. Getting extra turns. So for 2. I mean, nuts. All right. Mind you, it's only during your turn, so you got to get someone to play something in your turn, and it's a response. So, all right, Anger, really nice. Gives everything haste, and if it's in your graveyard, it's pretty nice. Golden Wish was always the worst wish. It may not be now, but it's still pretty bad. I mean, it costs 5 for what it does. I mean, you get an artifact or enchantment, but it's pricey. So, Crush of Worms. This is absolute bomb, but I mean, it costs 9. You can do it twice. So, I mean, if you got a big mana deck, pretty nice to get 3 6/6 worms. Kind of these days. Icar, pretty good. Again, this is one that comes back from your graveyard, so pretty good. We got a couple of those in there. Let's see if I got any other, like, do I get any bombs in here? Cephalid Constable is a nice one. That's got some good value to it. He's pretty nice. Lots of people play on that, returning creatures, stuff of certain colors to hands. Jessica, Warrior Adept. Love her for the haste. Being able to tap for 1. Pinger deck's amazing. Really nice. I don't know about being a commander, but she's pretty good. If you control 20 or more creatures, gotta throw one of these in my elf deck where I get so many creatures. This would be crazy, silly way to win. Right? All right. Overmaster. Basically stops this. Actually, it's like $20 or something. It's or $15 maybe. It stops your sorcery and instant spells from being countered. Pretty nice stuff. Mortal Kombat. Dun. Alright. Finish him. This is the end of your upkeep. If you have 20 or more creature cards in your graveyard, you win the game. So, like, now these days, pretty easy to put stuff in your graveyard, throwing creatures in there. Pretty fun card to try to do. Yeah, I think I gotta try to. I'm gonna have to make a deck around that soon too. Oh, we got another Mirari's Wake. Another Mirari's Wake. Nice. It's like $30 or more worth of Mirari's Wakes in there. Pretty nice. Radiate. So this was like fun to buy this, right? All Odyssey. I did do a quick flip through, kind of a what was coming. Radiate again, another nice card. I don't play it a lot. I'm not going to talk too much about Radiate, but yeah, some of these cards back in the day. Phantom Ashita, absolute. Still these day is a bomb. 7/7, 7 counters on it. Lifelink, trample. Yeah, not even lifelink, better than lifelink because it stacks. So you can throw like an armadillo cloak on there and it stacks and it'll happen twice. So he is still a really good creature. He is pricey, but really nice. If you can recursion him or something, or get him in for like cheaper, then he's really nice. And the fact that when he does damage, he only loses a counter. It's so much better than your normal 7/7. So unless you kill it, it's gonna stick around. World Gorger Dragon. So this card wasn't worth that much when it came out. It was like $1 or $2. And over the years, there's combos with it and certain decks. And it's I remember I sold somebody one actually recently for like $20. So really nice card. Genesis. In your graveyard, you can bring creatures back from your graveyard. Pretty nice. Commander Isha. Played this card a lot. Underrated, I think, for its value. I mean, you get a 2/4 flyer. Protection from creatures. Can basically stop anything. Won't die from Death Touch or anything like that. Really nice. Got that real classic art to it. Right? Kind of like very simplistic art, but very, very cool. So, war glides on the simplest updrafts while peace struggles against hurricane winds. Is that the way of the world? It must change. All right, pretty cool. All right, Living Wish. This was the absolute bomb when the set was out. When wishes worked kind of a different way where you could search your whole collection. It's a pain in the ass to play online when someone took half an hour to search the freaking collection to get a card, but really, really nice card. You can get yourself a land or a creature from outside the game, so really nice card. Pull from your sideboard. Still really good. Solitary Confinement. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you discard a card from your hand. Skip your draw step. You can't be the target of spells' abilities. Prevent all damage that be dealt to you. So you're basically under a big shield. Nothing can hurt you while it's in play. All right, Hunting Grounds. Hunting Grounds. Hunting Grounds. Cheating cards into play. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, you get to put one in play. Really super nice. But you got to be at threshold for it to happen, so it's got that one downside. But still, really nice card. Holds value. They've still got to be $10. All right, Insist. Again, another you can't be countered. Oh, there's two of them. Nice. Ooh. All right. Nostalgic Dreams. Pretty nice cycling cards, pulling stuff from graveyard. Oh, nice commander. Chain or Dementia Master. All nightmares get +1/1. Pretty nice. And you can pay 3 life, put target creature card from a graveyard into play under your control. So you control the board. When he leaves the game, remove all nightmares from the game. Oh, we got a wish. We get more than one. We got 2 Cunning Wishes. Really nice wishes. I wish me a counterspell. All right. Nomad Mythmaker. I think there's just one of these in here. Looks like the next card is not one. So put target enchant creature card from a graveyard into play. Enchanting a creature control. So you can throw some enchant creatures and stuff into your graveyard. It costs you 1 to bring them back into play. Pretty nice. All right, we're getting into some good stuff here. Got one of my all-time favorite cards in the game, Standstill. Get a slight advantage on the board. You throw down a Standstill, and it's like your opponents don't want to play a card. If they do, you get 3 cards. There's just no good. There's no good that happens in the situation for your opponent. So Standstill really nice. I got 4 of them here. I think they're worth about $10 each. So it's like $40. $40 in the bank. Really nice. I didn't get this for super cheap, but I didn't pay that much for it either. So really nice. Nice common. Careful Study. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards from your hand. Really nice. Delaying Shield. I never thought much of this card. Time Stretch. There we go. Wow. For one, these puppies, 2 extra turns. Got to get to 10, but 2 extra turns after this one. Really unique, strong card. Got to get to 10, though. But, I mean, you get to 10, you're probably winning most games if you get extra turns like that. So, really sweet card. Nice. Really cool art on it, too. There's lots of time like the present. That's funny. All right. Really cool. I think these are $30, $40 nowadays. So really nice in here. Nice finds. All right. We got New Frontiers. Now, New Frontiers, really good for pulling all kinds of land into the game. Was like super awesome. When they used to play Emperor, which you'd be the Emperor and you'd be kind of on both sides, you'd have a player. And this card was like, it was just an absolute bomb. Had to have it in your deck, but you couldn't play Emperor. So 4 ofs on, it was like MTGO back in the day. Petrified Field, really nice. And there is a couple of them. Oh, and I see a bomb. I think this card might be like $10 too. Tainted Pack, and I got not 1, but 2, but 3 Tainted Packs. Now this card, when it originally came out, was just okay. Didn't get a ton of play. Wasn't a standard card. Might have got a little play in like the classic color kind of stuff, but didn't really do that much. And kind of over the years, it's just kind of gotten better and better. Gained value, gained value, gained value. Nowadays, I think it's like $20, $30. It's a really nice card. Yeah, remove the top card of your library from the game. You may put that card into your hand unless it has the same name as another card removed this way. Repeat this process until you put a card into your hand or remove 2 cards with the same name, whichever comes first. So pretty sweet card. Yeah, man. All right. So Decimate. So this card used to drive me mad because you'd put it in the deck and I think under the old rules, you had to be able to target one of each. And so it was really hard to get, especially in a 2-player game, to get someone to have an artifact, creature, enchantment, and land on the board. So all of those things had to happen. I think nowadays you're able to just target some of them, but back when you used to play, you'd have to target all of them. And you guys can correct me if you're wrong if you're still watching at this point at home. Yeah, you had to target all of them, and so it was really hard. So it was so really limited. I think now it's much more deep card. So all right, Crystal Quarry is the next one. So Crystal Quarry, really nice. Only one of, sadly. But this, you get 1 colorless mana, but if you're playing 5-color deck, it's almost like a must-have. Really nice. It is a beautiful card, too, with the art. Really nice card you want in your collection, for sure. So, all right, Terraforce. This is an all-time favorite. Again, this combos with one of the cards I put down earlier. In those kind of land destruction decks, he is really good. If you can put cards in your graveyard, land cards in your graveyard, with stuff like Renin 7, he combos really well, and lots of kind of those cards where you can do that. With, what's his name, the big black and green guy. He combos really well with him too, so really nice card. Only costs 3, you get a Trample XX card. Pretty nice. All right, Divine Sacrament. It's all right. It's in white decks only. It does give them potentially +2/2, which is pretty nice for 3, so not bad. All right, Moment's Peace. You got a Flashback Fog here. Pretty good card, actually. Parental combat damage that be done this turn. I haven't priced these or anything for ages, so I don't know what they're worth, but pretty good common. So, Crows and Verge been reprinted a few times. I don't think it's holding too much value these days, but it's a really good land. Get you up to you just need 2 land plus this, and you're up to 4 land all of a sudden in your colors. So it's pretty nice. Riftstone Portal. Pretty cool. Add 1 colorless mana. If it's in your gravy, you sacrifice it with a Harrow or something that sacrifices a land. Now all your lands create your 2 colors, so pretty nice. Tainted Peak. These lands are really good. They were really underappreciated, I think, for a while, and they're holding good value right now. They haven't been reprinted for, I think they were like reprinted once. Could be wrong. I don't think they've been reprinted a lot, so I think it's got good value. I think it's over $10, so really nice. Good flashback, destroy target enchantment. Very good, but limited in scope. Rancid Earth, destroy target land. That's all right. Got it. Some lava darts in here. Is there anything else good in here? Let's see. Got a Benevolent Bodyguard. He's pretty nice. Acorn Harvest. He's kind of throw some good commons in here and some uncommons. Corrosion Restore. Played that lots. Compulsion. This card was pretty big back at the time. I don't think it's doing too much these days, but was pretty good back at the time. Battle Screech we reprinted a couple times. Really good to flood the board with little birdies flying around. So, especially back then when tokens were harder to get. Okay, Circular Logic, one of the better counter spells that's been printed. Really good in Madness builds, and was so good. Was so good back in when it was in Standard. This card was like so broken. People were drawing and discarding cards, and they were discarding your stuff. And they had 1 mana left, and it was hell to get around. I hated it. Coin flip card, nice. So we got Planar Chaos. At the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, sacrifice Planar Chaos. Okay. Whenever a player plays a spell, that player flips a coin. If he or she loses the flip, counter that spell. Oh, that is chaos. That is a super fun card. It is so kind of messed up in how it would affect the game. So pretty cool. Wonder gives all the creatures on the board for you flying as long as you have an island, and it's in your graveyard. So pretty nice. Kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. You kill it. They lose flyer and everything's out of flyer. Okay, I used to play bird decks all the time. And Soulcatcher's Airy was a big part of that. So whenever a bird is in your graveyard from put into a graveyard, you get a feather counter. So this goes with Feather the Redeemed. All birds get +1/1 for each feather counter on Soulcatcher Airy. So really fun card. Not super powerful kind of thing, but just kind of a fun, nice power level to it. Mesmeric Fiend, nice common. I spent a lot of time on that. Strength of Lunacy, again, another nice Madness card. Oh, another Chainer's Edict. That's nice. Oh, we got some Deep Anal here, Deep Analysis. Got a couple of those. Assuming they're $1 or something a piece. Wild Mongrel, maybe one of the best discard cards ever printed. Really nice. It's fun. It's so funny when this card came out. You know, like most commons, you look at it, you're like, it's not that good. It's, kind of maybe worth playing occasionally. I had a pre-constructed deck where it was in it, and it kind of used it a little, but a lot of times it wasn't that good. But man, did people manage to break the combos with it, and it's so good back in the day. So, Brawn. Gives everything trample if you got a green and it's in your graveyard. Roar of the Worm. Played this a ton. So 6/6 flashbackable worm. You get to do it twice. Pretty nice, pretty nice. If you just throw them in your graveyard early on turn 4, you get a 6/6, which is still pretty good nowadays. But back then, I mean, getting a 6/6 on turn 3 or 4 because you got it in your graveyard was amazing. So Soul Catcher, really nice. Another bird. Kind of works like the Airy. Okay. Prismatic Strands. Got a flashback protection card. So really nice. All right, like a Prismatic Ward or any of those kind of things. All right, keep watch. Nice draw card. It's nice because, you know, you can do it for yours or you can do it for your opponent. Your opponent's attacking you with 10 creatures. You draw 10 cards, and, you know, as long as you can survive the attack, you're probably going to win because you're going to have such card advantage. So, Breakthrough. I used to play this card actually a fair bit. Pretty nice. Kind of expensive. Oh, another Wonder. Worm Famed Drake. I don't know why that's in here. These are boring. These aren't very good. Oh, is that how we ended? Oh, man. All right. So that was all the fun of this little collection. That was pretty nice. I mean, I got fair good value on this. I figure I probably got 2 to 1 on my money for what I paid. So really nice. I hope everyone did enjoy the video. This was a nice back through memory pass. I mean, I remember these sets, the Call of the Herd, that 3/3 elephant that was flashbackable. That card was a bomb back then. The Finkel was really good. The Shadow Mage Infiltrator. So many good cards. It's good memories from that time. I mean, really, such a good time of playing. Decks were just a little simpler, but you see there was some shenanigans going on, and some really interesting cards that have, you know, some of them have been reprinted to almost worthlessness now because they're so easy to get. But so many of them still really, really good, unique cards. So I hope you did enjoy the video. I certainly did. It was really nice going back and looking at the cards. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. It helps us. Ring the bell. If you're not, then just remember to like the video. Everyone have a magical day.